This is Cult Confessions with Kristy and Josie. Welcome to our podcast.
Trigger warning. May contain themes of religious trauma and sexual abuse. Disclaimer. All information in this podcast is our opinion based on our experiences. We do not purport any of this content to be inherently factual and believe that each individual has the right to draw their own conclusion.
Hi, I'm Kristy.
And I'm Josie. And today on Cult Confessions, we are going to talk about spooky shit.
It's kind of going to be a Halloween themed thing. I know it's not October quite yet, but it's our October.
Close enough. I'm drinking pumpkin spice lattes and wearing boots, so it's close enough.
Yes, we have our cozy sweaters, and I have a cute skull sweatshirt.
I have pentagram earrings because I'm not.
Yes, we love.
Yes.
Also, Mrs. McGonagall.
Oh my God!
Passed away.
So you're actually gonna make me cry.
I know.
Ooh,
we raise our wands for her.
Yes. Oh my God. Maggie Smith is an absolute legend. This is not where I thought today was going to go. Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, you just made me really sad.
I know. We'll have to watch Harry Potter.
Absolutely.
The one thing we weren't allowed to watch as kids.
The one thing we weren't allowed to watch as kids. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't allowed to.
Stop.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit today about just kind of like the Halloween culture in the IFB and some of the things that we were taught that we don't really carry on into our adult lives, and just a little bit of how crazy it was. So I mean, let's just start out. I mean, Halloween is spooky, monsters, demons, all that kind of stuff. What were you taught about Halloween? What was your experiences?
So when I lived in San Diego, as I've said before, it was very much a different lifestyle there. Right. I used to go trick-or-treating like with my cousins and stuff, and it was very normal. When we moved, we weren't allowed to do it anymore, and so I don't know if that was like I don't really know if it was my parents or if it was more the church's brainwashing. I really don't know if we weren't allowed to, like based off of the school rules. I don't know. Since they somehow control our lives outside of school. But yeah, it sucked because I am born on October 13th, and I've had a couple Friday the 13th birthdays.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I would have died for if anyone knows me, I love spooky shit, first of all.
You do.
But I love to dress up. Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. So I would have died for a dress up like Halloween party bash every year. And especially on like the Friday the 13th kind of thing. But yeah, I didn't get to do that. So yeah. Sometimes I'm like, I kind of want to have an October baby literally just to like
I was gonna ask if any of your kiddos were born in October, but I don't think they are. You have August and a what?
A February.
August and a February.
No, we purposefully, we family plan. We purposefully didn't have kids in the fall because I'm October and Nathan's November. Oh, so we already, I don't want to outshine.
My parents did a shit job at planning. My mom and I are in May. My dad and my brother are April, and my little sister is June. So
yeah, I mean, some people do like the where they want to have the same birthday kind of thing.
Oh my God, my mother-in-law.
I feel like they would want. Some people want that.
August 14th, and my husband's birthday is October 16th. They're literally 2 days apart, and she planned it.
Yeah, and I literally thought about having a baby in October, but then because of all the spooky vibes and how cool like a spooky name could be. But then I was like looking into it, and I've heard that men Libras aren't very good.
Oh.
And so I'm like, I have a feeling it would probably be a boy.
Okay.
And so I'd rather it be a girl Libra, but I don't have the decision for that, unfortunately.
Right.
So,
Do you, okay,
yeah.
so I mean, a little tangent of a question. Do you believe in like astrology and all that stuff?
Um, Not fully. I feel like
Okay.
I'm just kind of like open-minded to everything. So like
Sure.
I take it with like a grain of salt. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like in a sense that I'm like, obviously, if all the Libra boys are kind of sucky, to me, it's a little bit of a sign. You know what I mean? Like when all of
Okay.
them seem bad, then, I might want to avoid that. But I also have a
That's
Leo
fair.
sun, and a lot of people say stuff about Leos. So,
Oh yeah, a lot of people say a lot of shit. I mean, Theo's a Leo, which I love for him. Theo the Leo.
yeah.
But yeah, he's not bad.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
supposedly like very like confident and like self-absorbed kind of vibe. But I
love
don't
it.
so far my son is like so funny. So I'm perfectly fine with him being a Leo. But yeah, I can definitely see it. Like Arya, she's a Pisces and she is extremely emotional. So
Okay.
it's very interesting. I'm a Libra and like everyone thinks I'm a flirt, so it's accurate. But yeah,
I honestly, I don't know much of anything about the signs. Like, I know that I'm a Taurus, and I know that I'm stubborn
Taurus
as
is
hell.
like Taurus is very like kind of obsessed with money, like in the sense of like
I'm
being
really not
very
though.
kind of like smart financially kind of
Oh,
thing.
I'm not.
Like
I'm not at
no, but
all.
okay, but no, wait a second. But you don't like to spend money.
Okay, you know what? That's true. I don't
You
spend
don't,
money on
yeah, you
myself.
don't like to spend money. So I feel like you are a little bit of like a penny pincher in a
That's
sense.
fair. That's
And
fair. I
that's giving
literally
Taurus.
just yesterday I sent Kristy a picture of the sweatshirt that I wanted that I am not going to get.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm like, girl, you like will not buy
it's
things for yourself ever.
$80. It's $80. I'm not gonna
Don't
buy the
tell
fucking
me, do not
sweatshirt.
tell me that's not a Taurus thing if you're like not wanting to spend money.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair if you
Yeah,
think about it
but
like that.
obviously the way that you like truly know your signs is to like to know each like the sun, the moon, like whenever there's three different signs that you have to
Oh.
know. It's like a full chart thing where you have to
Oh
fill it
my.
out. And I feel like you have to pay for it, so that's why I never did. Yeah, so there's three different signs. It's like your star chart. And so it's like your sun rising, your moon rising, and I don't even honestly I don't know fully, but there's three of them. And one is the way that you present yourself to the world. One is like your
Okay.
inner self, and then the other I don't remember at this time
Okay.
because I'm not like it's not like I'm
We should
truly
do them. We should do
deep.
them and then
Yeah.
compare them. That sounds kind of fun. Okay, so
Yeah, we
where
could.
I can't get behind it is like when you blame bad behavior on your star sign.
I feel like that's the same
Like
with like
sorry I,
everything.
burned your house
I feel
down.
like
Sorry
to
I killed
me,
someone.
to me, I feel like that's more of like I use it as comedy because I'm like, sorry, I'm a
Well,
Libra.
comedy
Because
is
like
fine.
I use it more of like a comedic way. I don't actually blame my star sign for anything.
Yeah.
Um,
No, comedy's fine. Like that's funny. But like if you're actually out there like doing bad things and like hurting other
and then being
people and you just
sorry,
blame it
yeah.
on.
I feel like that's just probably the type of person because you can't just blame one thing for for
Yeah.
things happening in your life.
Like
Like there's a lot of things that go into it. It can't just be
I have
one.
had friends that have been like really, really shitty to me. Be like, sorry, I'm a Gemini. I can't help it. I'm
Oh,
just like,
really?
yes, you can. Go to therapy,
Yeah.
girly. Like, yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can't get behind that part. But I mean, it is
Mhm.
interesting. It's kind of cool. But like, I don't know.
No, I feel like so I think most people kind of assume that it's like how can everyone obviously in the same month or whatever
Mm-hmm.
the same star sign because there's two for each month a lot of times. Um how can they like be the same type of person or whatever, but
Sure.
it's not that easy because there is like the different signs within the one. So like you can be a Taurus and an Aquarius and something else. So like it all adds up to your personality. Yeah. And so
okay.
I mean, it's interesting. I've kind of tried to look into it, but it's not like obviously something I'm like religious about or anything. I'm just like,
Sure.
oh, that's kind of cool. Like if that's real, that'd be
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. I don't
Because
know.
and then also there's also the theory of like Saturn returning, which is when
Isn't that
you
the
kind of
27 years thing?
yeah, when you kind of like realize that you kind of need to get your shit together.
Yeah.
Um yeah, it's basically Saturn returns to the point that it was when you were born.
Which I
And
honestly I put a little more stock into that. I mean, again, I don't know if it's necessarily because of Saturn, but I think around that like
yeah.
27 years of age mark. I mean, like I'm
Oh yeah.
26.
I think when you're 30, you like 100% are like you kind of
Yeah.
don't give a fuck about what
Yeah.
people think and you kind of just become who you are meant
Well,
to
and I've
be.
kind
I
of
feel.
seen that in my husband. Like, so I'm 26 and he just turned 30 this year.
Mhm.
So I noticed when he hit like 27 that he was starting to focus on different things and like make different choices and things like that. And now that
Mhm.
he's 30, he is, yeah, he's much more focused on like different goals,
Yeah.
which I think is really interesting. But
Yeah, no, I think it's a definitely a different it definitely happens and yeah, I don't know if it's having to do with Saturn, but that's the theory at
right.
least. And uh that it's kind of like based on like the second that you were born because that's
Okay.
like you have to put in like the exact time you were born for like to get that star
I don't think
chart
I even
thing.
know the exact time I was born.
Yeah. So yeah, so you have to put that in to get all three signs, but
Oh,
it's interesting. It's I mean, it's kind of I mean, it's the same as any other theory that is kind of
right.
interesting to look into, but I don't know if I'm like I'm not religious in the sense that even if I did like semi believe in a
Mm-hmm.
star chart or whatever, I wouldn't be like reading like what is my star like what is it? Like the horoscope? Is that what it's called?
When it tells you like about your day based on the sign that you are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like the daily
the
horoscope
horoscope.
and stuff like to me I don't know. I don't believe in doing that. I also don't believe in like getting my hands read or like doing
Oh,
like the
see,
card
I would
tarot
do it for
cards.
fun. Like I would like I've had like a coworker brought
But
tarot
I
cards to
feel like
work, and
okay,
like that
I
was
feel like
fun.
tarot cards and like seeing the future could be really a really slippery slope in the not in like a Baptist religious way, but in like in the sense of like when you feel like something's going to happen,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times you make it happen because you
Right.
know that it's going to happen, right?
Right.
So it's like how much is actually the tarot reading or future
One
telling
often meets
or
their
like your
destiny on the road they take to avoid it. That's a quote that
yeah,
I
like
love, and I
and then
think
you
that's
kind
so
of like
true.
go and then I would feel like you would kind of get addicted to like wanting to know
Right.
the future even though it's not really telling you the future. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah,
But
again, like I've done a tarot reading like for fun. Like I said, a coworker brought cards to work one time, like on a
I love
weekend. We were all
tarot
bored as
cards
shit.
in
I'm
general.
just
Like
like,
they're
that was
so cool.
fun. Like I would go see a
Mm.
psychic like to be as like an experience. Like I wouldn't
I
really
would go with
stalk
you,
into it.
but
Yeah.
I don't know. I might like maybe we could do like a vlog version and just
That would be fun. I
go
have
get
nothing
our
for though, and I'm
cards
broke.
read, our future, see our future.
Yeah, that could be fun. That could be fun. Hmm. We should see if we know anybody that does like tarot readings, see if they'll do them virtually. That'd be
Mhm.
cool. I
I
might
wonder if
ask
we
her.
know any psychics.
I don't think I know any psychics, but
If you know any psychics out there, just, if you are a psychic, please leave it in the
we would like
comments.
to
Let
get
us
our
know.
futures
Hit
told.
us up.
Oh God. Okay, so
But
Halloween.
none of that was allowed. But none of that was allowed
Oh
growing
yeah,
up. Like tarot
exactly.
cards, psychics, all of that was of the devil, for
Yeah, it was
sure.
all demonic. It was all Satanist. It was all like really, really
Like
awful in the IFB
Wiccan,
culture.
all of
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like you would literally would you would be called a witch, like
Hmm.
one of my very close friends in high school, like, she was called a witch by most of the people there, by friends of mine, by teachers, by the pastor. Like,
Why?
she was called a witch because she was into all that shit. And
Hmm.
like the issue, like, and honestly, I don't even have an issue with the label of witch because I think it's badass. I don't like the way that the Baptists use it because it's very derogatory.
Hmm.
And usually, with you're like a witchy kind of person, you're really just more in tune with nature and like,
Yeah.
you know, believing in different earthly elements and things that they do. And I mean, I'm not necessarily like, I don't necessarily believe in all that shit, but it's not hurting anybody. Like,
Hmm.
there's no reason not to if that's something that floats your boat. And and that's where I have an issue with the Baptist calling somebody a witch, because the label isn't necessarily wrong, it's just how they mean the label.
Yeah. I mean, and also, a lot of religious groups definitely got a lot of innocent people murdered
Oh
back in the
yeah.
day because of
Yep.
believing they were witches. But
Oh yeah.
I
Dude,
honestly,
and
I think it was
I
just,
am firmly of the belief that if you are not living your life like in a way that would have got you burned at the stake in the 1600s, you're not living life right. Like, honestly.
no, I
Um
honestly think that it was probably just a way to control women, like
oh, it
always.
absolutely was.
And like,
Absolutely.
if a woman didn't want to marry someone or didn't want to sleep with someone, she was a witch. You know what
You're
I
a
mean? Like,
witch. Yep.
yeah.
Well, yeah, because
But
I mean, literally, like so Salem witch trials. I mean, they would drown women, and then if they
mhm.
survived, they were a witch. But if they drowned and died, they were not a witch, but they are dead anyway. So
Yeah,
who cares?
yeah,
Like,
it's insane. Have you ever been to Salem?
no, I it's on my bucket list. I want
No,
to.
I've been. Yeah, it's pretty
Have
cool.
you really?
Yeah, yeah, I have. I
Oh,
went on tour
sick.
actually, which is
Oh,
interesting. But
wow.
yeah.
Wait, there Baptist churches in Salem, Massachusetts?
Um, I don't know, but we toured Salem.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So,
Okay. Wait, what? Tell
but
me
yeah.
all about like that experience. Like, you were on a Baptist college tour group in
Hmm.
Salem, Massachusetts. Like, what was that like?
I don't know. It was just like a historical like tour type of
Really?
thing.
Oh,
Hmm.
I assumed it would be like really preachy.
No, it was like just talking about the witch trials and like kind of like factually what happened and whatever.
Okay, interesting.
But yeah, but it's a cute little town. I like it.
I want to
I like
go.
I like Salem. I mean, my family lives in, well, they're from Salem, Oregon, but uh
Opposite sides of the world. Well, kind
yeah,
of.
I
Yeah.
I really like the name Salem. I think it's really
Yeah.
cute. Uh
It's
I
a
don't
very
know if we'll
popular
ever
black
have a
cat
third
name.
kid, but I like that name. Okay, so how was your Halloween
Oh god. I've never been trick or
experience?
treating. Ever.
Never?
Ever. Nope.
That's the
Last
saddest thing
year, so
I've
okay,
ever
so when
heard.
we moved to Kansas 2 years ago, and so our first like Halloween here. So this we moved in September, so this will be our third Halloween here, and this is our
Mhm.
first time living in a house, like in a neighborhood. We have lived in duplexes before, we had a townhouse before, but this is our first like house. Um, and so this is the first time we really had any like trick or treaters.
Mhm.
And so I'm loving that part, like getting to not judge all the kids in their cute ass little costumes and like
Mhm.
hand out candy and not pretend that I'm not home. Which is interesting because, like, for the first several years of my life, we never participated in anything any
Mhm.
close. Like, we just ignored it. Um, when, so we moved to Spokane when I was 8. And a couple of years later, I think when I was like 10, maybe, my grandma, my mom's mom, moved from the west side of the state to Spokane. Um, and she was a little less Baptist crazy in some ways. So we got to hand out Halloween candy, which we never got to do before, but she let us
Oh
do it at
yeah,
her
just
house.
for reference, with Halloween, like on Halloween night, I feel like a lot of times they would have us be at church for some reason for
We
something.
would we would do like trunk or treats at church, so we
Yeah, or
could
like a harvest
harvest
party,
parties.
which is
Yep.
literally the same as Halloween,
Well,
but
yeah,
like
it's the same, but
not
like the costumes are
witchy.
so censored. Like you had to,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I
you
remember
couldn't do
having
like
to bring my
anything
costume into church and school and like get it like approved before
anything
I could wear it.
evil or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we
No
would have to
gore,
turn
no
off the
nothing fun.
lights and like not you weren't allowed to give out candy because obviously we didn't
Right.
celebrate Halloween.
Right, because otherwise you were opening the door to the devil. Like, I'm not even
Hmm.
kidding. That's how a lot of Baptist people viewed it. If you open the door on Halloween night and giving out candy, you're allowing the devil access to your home.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's fucking
It's
crazy.
cool though, like the history of like a jack-o'-lantern. I think it's to scare off bad spirits, right?
I think so, yeah.
So
I think I've read that
I,
before.
it's interesting because it's like if you want to scare them off, just do the jack-o'-lantern, okay?
Right. Should work, right? I mean, if we're going to put stock in all of this mumbo jumbo, might as well.
Yeah, in this weird spiritual crazy shit. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
It's
so
around the same thing.
never went trick or treating. One year my brother and I feel like I think that we were still in Mount Vernon, so we were probably like I was probably 6 or 7. We made little ghosts out of tissues. We took the tissue paper and we put it like over a couple of fingers, and then we tied it so
Mm-hmm.
it looked like a ghost with a little head and a little floaty body. And we made a whole string of them and we hung them up on our front porch. And we were so excited and we were so proud of ourselves. And we showed my mom and she freaked out. She was so unhappy and
Really?
she was so mad. I am not even kidding you when I tell you she took them all down in a frenzy and burned them in the kitchen sink. Literally burned them in the kitchen sink.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that's how seriously it's taken. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't really blame my mom for that because I'm sure that, she was just doing what she thought was right. But it's
Yeah.
crazy. It's crazy. So after that, we never tried to really do any like Halloween decorations or anything. I have had a couple of costumes like in my adult life. Like, I mean, I think when I was 18, my first Halloween after I moved out, I was a little vampire and that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and last year we did some stuff from The Nun, and that was
Oh,
also
cool.
fun. Theo's much more into
We'll
Halloween.
have to post the photos.
They're kind of not not appropriate.
I guess we'll see.
Um,
We
okay, so
might need to censor them.
I don't have a lot of pictures of my outfit. I think Theo's are fine, but mine was very not
Oh, were you
appropriate.
slutty?
I was very slutty. Never done a
I
slutty
my
Halloween.
no, I really wanted to my thought was this year with the coven, like my mom friends, I
Mm-hmm.
was thinking we could do like a Halloween party and maybe
Mm-hmm.
do like, you know, slutty
Mm.
vibes and drinks and all the things. But I don't know if I'm going to be here for that. So,
Right. That would
yeah,
be
but
fun. I don't know. And we didn't go anywhere. Like it was just for fun at home kind of stuff.
well, we're going to be Spider-Man, like Spider-Verse people.
Didn't
So,
Arya pick out the little white Spider Girl thing?
yeah, yeah, she's going to be Gwen. And so I
Yes.
think Aiden's going to be uh Peter Porky. Porky. I don't know
Stop
what his
it,
name
Peter
is.
Porker.
Yeah. Yeah, we're
Stop
gonna
it. That's
try to
gonna be so cute.
yeah, we're gonna try to make him a costume like that. So we'll just get like the regular Spider-Man and then like I was gonna put like the nose and then the ears.
Ah.
And then I'm gonna be the one that's technically pregnant, but I'm not gonna be pregnant. Um, and then Nathan's gonna be Peter Parker.
Just basic, good old
I
Spider
think
Man.
he's gonna be like the one with like the sweats and the robe.
Oh, that's
We
nice.
probably
Okay.
won't do the baby part, but I'm
Sure.
like, this would have been a great one if we had a baby. Like, that would have
I
been so
know.
freaking cute. So cute. Or if I was
Next year.
pregnant, that would be
No.
perfect. But I know. But yeah, so I have like a spider suit and it's like very tight and stuff.
Get it. Get it.
So yeah, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Um,
I definitely
yeah.
want to do some more slutty stuff like down the road when
Well,
I
last year
lose a lot of weight.
I was Sarah from
You guys did Hocus Pocus, right?
yeah, we did Hocus Pocus. So I
Yeah.
guess that kind of maybe is a slutty one. A little
Maybe
bit.
a little bit, I guess. Yeah.
Sarah's a little
Yeah.
on the slutty end, I guess. But yeah. Um, but yeah, so basically, like,
What
we had to
like
do kind of boring. I would say if we did have any harvest party or whatever, we would have to do kind of boring costumes, like,
oh yeah, like very
I don't know, like
basic.
Dorothy.
Or we could do well. We weren't even allowed to do like movie characters and stuff. Like we
I
were
mean, I've
like
never
a
seen that movie, so I don't think I would
cowboy.
ever do it.
Like we could
Oh
do
yeah,
very
okay.
generic things. Like we could be a cowboy, or we could be somebody in the army, or we
I
could
mean, I'm
be
sure
like,
you could be an Indian,
oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
as great as that is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I literally remember a vacation Bible school that literally the theme was cowboys and Indians.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
not good.
dude, that was horrid.
Is yeah.
Like
Yeah.
looking back on that, oh my god, that was actually terrible.
Hmm.
Yeah. No, I remember like I think I was like
Yeah, we love when people dress up as like a race. It's
mhm. Yeah,
great.
definitely
So
appropriate for
good.
a costume. Like but it's one thing if it's um like honoring the culture and like celebrating the culture. I think that's fine.
Hmm.
But if you're doing it inappropriately and like in a mocking kind of way or
Hmm.
portraying different stereotypes that are really just not appropriate, that's where it becomes an issue. Because I remember like for the vacation Bible school, like I was a teenager at that point and I was um like watching kids and like helping run it instead of like attending the vacation Bible school.
Hmm.
um but yeah, I literally remember these like teenage boys dressing up as cowboys and Indians, and the Indians were like chasing them and kidnapping them and scalping them and all of those kinds of things.
Wow.
Wow, yeah. Haven't thought of that in a minute.
That's frustrating.
Jesus. Yeah.
I used to get heated. I don't know if I've told you this. I used to get heated in history class
Did you really?
because, oh yeah, because people would be like the way that they glorified like
Mm-hmm.
Columbus and all these people,
Oh
all
yeah.
these white men. And I'm
I get
like,
horrified now. I get really heated now. I didn't know any better in school.
oh
Like
no,
that's
well,
what I was
because I'm
taught.
Hispanic. Like
Yeah. Yep.
I am native to America, right?
Right.
At least part of me, because part of me is Spaniard, because thank you, Spaniard people, for raping everybody in the world. Um, but yeah, so it's like I was really proud of my heritage for a long time.
Yeah.
Obviously, I got whitewashed like crazy because if I ever mentioned anything, a lot of times I would get like the whole go back to your country thing.
Oof.
Um, yeah. And so I hid a lot of like my Hispanic like accents, like features, like anything that really made me Hispanic. I didn't want to be that way because anything that is slightly different, and I think this is very common in general, like when going to school and stuff. If you're
Yeah.
like, if something's pointed out, like you kind of don't want to be, you just kind of want to be invisible, right? Like you don't
Yes.
want things pointed out. If it's pointed out, it's pointed out for a reason, right? Like that
Mm-hmm.
it's different or it's not like everyone else or it's not a good
Right.
thing usually. And so there were certain things like I would say things differently that I would stop saying because it was like part of my Hispanic accent kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um and yeah, so like I would get really upset in history class cuz I'd be like I don't understand like why they're glorifying these people for murdering all of the
Yeah.
natives when it's like then it was the natives' land to begin with. Like they had no right to take
And
it from them.
I mean, you're absolutely right. I just wish that we had been taught that. Like, I wish that we
Hmm.
had been taught real history. Because, like, I love history. History is one of my favorite, like, subjects. History is something that I just love learning about, like, past times. I think I'm
I hated
unhealthily
American
obsessed with World War
history
II history.
because
Uh,
of this. No, I hated American history because of this.
yeah.
I definitely preferred any other history other than American because to me
Yeah.
I was just like, oh cool, we're just glorifying all these murderers and stuff and making them seem like good people for stealing land and
Yep.
lives.
Yep.
Um
I
and
also, I think
honestly like
it's.
Yeah.
I really think it's so interesting that like you were able to have that perspective in high school, like that you were actually taught that, and like given that information. Because I'm thinking about it, and I'm just like,
I don't
I
think I was
didn't.
ever taught. I think that that
Okay.
was like my own like personal,
Okay.
I don't know, like because of my heritage, I
Yeah.
had like an inner annoyance at
Okay. That's
them
fair.
being like the Alamo and all the things, like where I'm just like, I mean, we were here first,
Right.
so I don't like, I just very much was like, we were here first, so fuck off. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of how I felt.
It
So
was totally
yeah.
unnecessary, like the behavior of early Americans. Absolutely.
Well, yeah, and then the whole idea of them being like, go back to where you came from. Well, bitch, I'm from here.
Why don't you go
So
back to where you came from?
yeah,
No.
like
Nobody needs to
we're
go
like
back to where they came from. Like, that's. Oh, God.
but the
Hate
thing is,
that shit.
I'm more native to this fucking area than you are. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the white men in my school class and stuff. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
you're not from here, so you
Yeah.
know, whatever. But
I would love to go
yeah,
back to where I came from. I'm mostly Scottish and Norwegian. I'd love to go back to where I came
oh
from.
yeah.
That'd be great for me.
We like do like a DNA test for every single person in the world, and they have to all
I
go
know, right?
back where they're
I'd
from.
be very much okay with that. I mean, for me, not obviously not like I don't need everybody to do that, but for me, I'd
Yeah.
be very much down to move to Scotland. Bring it on. If somebody finances it, I'll go.
But yeah, I think that it just shows like how kind of tone deaf churches and stuff like that
Oh,
of like
incredibly so. Yeah.
I feel like they also took a longer time to like step away from those ideas than like the normal society too, which is crazy.
Yeah,
Um,
they're so
but
annoyed. Like I remember talking about, okay, so I mean, we're going to go back to like the LGBTQ community. Like I remember them talking about how disgusting it was and how woke everybody was and how annoyed
mhm.
they were with it. Like just that set in stone way of thinking and like not having any um like any desire for growth or any desire for learning or understanding, like that's so core to so many churches, especially the IFB.
Yeah.
Like just being completely set in your ways and not open to a different perspective, not open to learning or understanding anything new. That's just everywhere in the IFB, and it's really sad.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's devastating for everyone, like believing that being gay, you know, loving someone that's the same sex as you or being
Mm-hmm.
attracted to the same sex, being something wrong with you, right? And like that you need to be eradicated and that you're disgusting and you
Mm-hmm.
need to be, you know, like surrender yourself to God and cleanse yourself and all the things. And it's like, that's not okay to think that way.
Mm-mm.
And it makes me sick that people still do think that way and that they're not considered human. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like you said, they call them its and stuff. And
Yeah,
it's
that's
like,
literally I wasn't allowed to refer to them by names or by like they were
God
its.
forbid they them.
Well, yeah, no, we couldn't do it. We couldn't do they them. Like absolutely not. Like it was either no, we literally couldn't say he or her either.
Yeah.
Like we had to say it because that's what they were.
Hmm. I just like with the coming election and stuff, it makes me devastated to see people supporting the other side, obviously, and like supporting these types of beliefs, and like
Mhm.
that somehow the schools are making our kids gay and stuff like that. And I don't get it. Like, if you want to protect kids, then stop the hatred for them.
Right. Right.
Because if you spread more hate in the world, it's going to be a more dangerous world for anyone, whether the
Yep.
kid's straight or not. It's going to be a more dangerous world. Hate is
Yep.
never a good thing, like, no matter what. And that's my biggest thing is like, if you want your kids, your grandkids to have a better place, why would you support someone that's so hateful and so divisive? Like, why wouldn't you want your kids to be in a place where they feel safe from, all types of harm, and like
Mm-hmm.
feel safe to be themselves? Like, that's all I want for my kids, is for them to be safe physically and mentally, and like feel accepted and feel loved. And I hope to always give them that. But I want the world to be a better place for them, where they
Yeah, they
are more
shouldn't just have
accepted.
to get that at home. And I mean, it really sucks for kids who just have terrible home lives and they don't get that at home, for them to go into schools and, daycares and other places and still get that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Um, do you want to talk at all about what happened at Arya's school?
So recently, my daughter just started going to kindergarten, and she came home and she was telling me that they were practicing hiding from bad men. And um it was just me driving home, and she said that, and I was like, "Wait, what? You're practicing hiding from bad men?" And she's like, "Yeah, if bad men came in, we have to hide." And she's like, "Why do we have to do that, mommy? Why would people want to come in and hurt us? Why would bad people want to come in to hurt us?" And she literally said, she's like, "I don't want to be her. I don't want to be killed," is what she said.
Wow.
And I was like, this is something I never ever wanted to hear from my child. I never wanted to face. I knew that eventually I would face it, obviously, because she is going to a school.
Sure.
And I just didn't realize it would be so soon. And the
Because she
fact
only
that, like,
started going like a
shooting,
few weeks ago.
yeah, that shooting is the number one reason for kids' mortality, like,
Yep.
or whatever, like death, the cause of death in America. It's devastating. It's frustrating. I think parents are sick of it. I know I am. And it's hard to give my daughter hope and comfort when I don't know if she's going to be, like,
Right.
all I can say to her is, like, I hope that you're safe. I hope that this never happens. We have safety protocols so that we know what to do if it ever does, but hopefully it never does.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I can say. I can't say, like, that you're going to be okay, you're going to be safe. I don't know if she is, like.
Yeah.
And I also can't stomach telling her that oftentimes it's one of her peers that
Right.
gets a hold of a gun. Um because right now the only thing really kind of keeping her settled is the fact that, you know, they keep the doors locked, and that, like, the only door opened is the office door, so, like, they
Mm-hmm.
have to go through them if they're coming to visit or whatever. And obviously that keeps out parents and
Mm-hmm.
other random people, but it could be a student. And that's something I
Yeah.
haven't been able to tell her, because
Well, she's so
then she
little.
wouldn't feel safe at all.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
at all.
She's so young, and she's also such an anxious kid.
Mhm.
Like, she's just, she feels a lot of things really deeply, and she has a
Yeah.
lot of feelings. And I can't imagine, like, trying to tell her something like that. Like,
No, yeah.
she
I'm
would never
like,
be okay at school.
no, I'm like, I can only tell her so much, and it sucks because, like, I want to have an open communication and always be, like, as honest as
Right, of
possible with
course.
her. And um but it just sucks because even, like, when I told her, I'm like, how, like, they don't let us go into the school. We have to, like, drop you off at the door. Like, when mommies and daddies aren't allowed inside, like, they don't let people inside to keep you guys safe, and that they keep it all locked. And then I was
Mm-hmm.
like, when I said, except, like, the office door, they keep open. And she's like, they keep the office door open? Like, even that was, like,
Oh,
a lot for
honey.
her. And then I'm just
Oh.
like the fact that it's like,
Oh my God.
it usually is, like, a student that brings one in and gets it from their parent or whatever, or a parent literally buys it for them, which is insanity. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it sucks, and I wish there was something we could do to change it, and hopefully there is, like I hope that there is things we can do to change it and make it a
I mean, I
better,
think just,
safer
I
world.
mean, obviously vote for the America that you want, right? Like, vote for what you want the world to look like. And
Yeah.
hopefully that world doesn't involve, mass shootings at schools. But,
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
I don't know.
I
And
think
even
that
just,
we all need to face it and like realize that it
right,
needs to stop. Like
right.
we have to do something because it's insane that that's how often it's happening and how many kids are dying because of it.
Yeah. And the crazy part is so much of it doesn't even get reported, or like it doesn't hit the media, because I think that if every school shooting that act like if every single school shooting that happened was media circuited the way that some of the bigger ones are, like, I think that change would be a lot more immediate. Like, I think that if there was that
Yeah.
level of awareness, I think
Well, I
that
know that
there
there
would be more
was
changes.
a school that my friend went to, like I think the wife works there and their kids go there.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that they had a father that was going to come shoot up the school because he had recently lost his son or something like that. And so they stopped him before that he did it. But
Wow.
like I'm sure stuff like that happens all the time where like they're stopped before they do it or whatever, and it's probably
Yeah.
not reported when it's not as big of a
No,
deal,
that shit
but
needs to be broadcasted. Like,
yeah.
that's not something that should be kept silent. And I think that, I mean, like, you just look at the difference between like European countries with much stricter
Yeah.
gun laws. And I mean, like,
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's trying to, like, I don't think a lot of reasonable people want to take away everybody's guns or take
Yeah.
away
I mean,
the Second
I feel
Amendment.
like
Like,
obviously it's like smart to have one to protect your family if anything ever
right.
goes bad, but like
Absolutely.
yeah,
It's
there has
important
to
to
be some
increase the
way to
awareness and,
make
like,
it work.
make sure that there's ample education. Strongly believe in background checks for weapons, like, especially firearms. Like, but like, we own a gun. Like, we have a gun in the house. We have a shotgun in the
Hmm.
house. And that makes me feel safer because we're responsible gun owners. We have education. We know how to use it. We know how to clean it. We know how to make sure that like, it's not going to accidentally discharge or anything like that. Like, we
Yeah.
keep that shit safe. Um,
Hmm.
and but that's important. That's part of being a gun owner that I think is really essential, is you have to make sure that
And
you're
I mean,
responsible with it.
we own guns as well, but like I would also very much give up all my guns for the life of my child.
Sure.
Like, honestly, like if it would give that, like if it would prevent my kids from being shot up in a school, like
Yeah.
the risks of
And that's
that,
the
if it
hard
would
thing, is
lower,
like, would that even
then I
be a
would
reality though?
100%.
Like, would that even be a reality? Like, if you said, okay, so no guns whatsoever, like, we're going to ban every single gun,
Hmm.
that just takes away the legal ones. That just takes away guns from good people, because, I mean, there's a black market for it in European countries, even. Like, it's way less, but I mean, it really just
Hmm.
takes guns away from people who are being responsible and law abiding
Well,
citizens.
but the thing is, like when you look at the other countries, it's like the death rate
Mm-hmm.
of a lot of that stuff, it's way lower.
It is.
Like,
Yeah.
and
100%.
especially school shootings, like they're
Yeah.
way like
100%.
you know what I mean? Like to me it's worth it, and like I don't know, I we have to do something to protect the people, the kids
Right.
that are literally our future.
Right.
And the fact that they're like protecting fetuses that have literal no, like they can't even live without the mother,
Yep. Yep.
but then they won't protect the children that we already have that are alive and
No.
living, and that literally they can feel fear, they can feel pain, they can feel all of these things.
It's a little
The
ass
fetus,
backwards.
they for the majority of them, they can't feel any of that. And so it's like, yeah, it's insane. Like protect our kids. If you care about babies, if you care about kids so much, protect them.
Well, let's be honest, it's never been about babies.
No, it's not. It's about controlling women.
Exactly. Like, it's never been about babies. So all these people shouting from the rooftops, like, how much they hate abortion because they love babies so much. Like, I honestly, it really just
Like,
strikes me
stop
as
fucking
uneducated.
going outside of Planned Parenthood and saying to save the babies. Go to the fucking schools and say that.
Literally. Literally.
Like,
Yep.
fuck off.
It's really just a matter, again, like that set mindset where you're just not willing to take in any new information, grow, learn, like adapt to different things or change your perspective at all. Like,
Mhm.
that mindset is so dangerous, and that's everywhere in the IFB and everywhere in so many churches. And it's just sad, honestly. The miseducation and refusal to get educated is really sad.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that, I mean, Christian people have, obviously, they send their kids to Christian schools and like they teach there, they work there, so they're with their kids 24/7 and
Sure.
whatever. Like, they probably don't give a shit about people that send their kids to public schools.
No,
And
because
they obviously
people that
don't. Like, they don't care about
they're
their
all
lives.
heathens. Yeah.
They don't care about the children's lives. That's all that it is. It's like,
No, they really don't. They
if
like
you
to say
really
that they
did,
do because
you
it
would
makes
care.
them look like good people. Like, if you say I care about children, the assumption is you're probably a good person. But when you actually get down into the root of the issues and the why behind all of these stances and the context of like where these opinions come from, um, you don't actually care about children. Like, if you're, voting for people that are going to make rules that are going to hurt children in the long run, like, you really don't.
Yeah, like,
And I
we
think
should
that that's a
be
reality
voting
that they
for
don't have the
a
mental
better
capacity
future
to
for
face.
everyone.
Yeah.
Like, especially the kids, like, especially for children. They should,
Right.
the ones that are, alive and kicking and have feelings and emotions and can feel
Yeah.
pain and are an actual human being. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we should be caring about those kids.
Right.
And it's just crazy. Like, I mean, I've said it before that, like, if I was pregnant, I would 100% care so much more for the two kids that need me
Mm-hmm.
a million times over the fetus inside of me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know the fetus, I don't know the baby, I don't know any of it,
Right.
anything. All I know is that it probably won't remember anything, so I would choose
But it
my kids over
definitely
them.
won't
Right?
remember
Like,
anything. Yeah.
if I was dying and I needed to get rid of the baby, I would choose my living
100%.
kids and
100%.
my life over the baby.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. I would do the same.
it's just, I don't know. I think after becoming a mother, everything has become very clear for me. Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
like, obviously, yes, my kids need me. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Um, but like, obviously, if things change, then we won't have access to that, to life-saving things that we need. And like,
Because it is medical care.
just,
It is medical care in so many situations. And I mean, if you look at the reasons why women actually get abortions, those who aren't scared enough to actually state the reason, most of it's financial. Um, because we can't
I mean,
afford to
a
have
lot
more
of times they
children.
can't afford having more kids. Like, they already do
Exactly.
have kids. Yeah.
Exactly. Or they can't afford to have
Or
a kid at all.
yeah, or they're in a abusive situation.
Yeah, so again, like,
And
if people actually
there's
cared
there's so
about the
many reasons.
children,
There's so many
yeah.
reasons, but
But if people
yeah.
actually cared about the children, they would be looking at making life more affordable. They would be looking at a major adoption reform and foster care reform. Like, they would be looking at all of these systems that actually focus on making things better for children. If you're so focused about a like a two spouse household or a husband and wife household, like, you'd be looking at how to make sure, like, we can afford to have that, like, that
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
again, the
we
thinking
can't
is just
even
so ass
afford
backwards.
houses.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then
Yep.
we get in trouble for not having kids. And
Yeah.
it's like, what do you expect?
Like what do you want us to do, honestly? And it really frustrates me that the people that are, so loud about this are people who don't have these issues. They're people who can afford to pay for their groceries. They're people who can afford to buy a house. They're people who can afford to send their kids to the
Or
school
there are
that
people
has the
that bought their
warranty.
house for fucking like $20,000. Like,
Exactly. They're people that make enough money and have been around it long enough to afford to live.
yeah.
And that's just not the reality for most of us who are of child having age. It's just not the reality for most of us.
Yeah, and I'm sorry that we seem to be a lot more responsible by not having kids when we
Yeah,
aren't able to afford them.
absolutely. Yeah, not having a child right now is one of the most responsible things that I am actively doing.
Yeah. And like, I don't know. I feel like it's pretty, we could very easily have a million children, but we do not. And that's for so many reasons, like
Yeah.
financially, emotionally, like in every way. Like for me, maybe I'm being selfish, but I would prefer to give both of my kids a better life than to have another child and
Absolutely.
to spread finances thin, to spread myself thin,
Mhm.
and spread like everything thin, right? Where it's like, I want to give my kids enough of me, right? And like, I want to be there for them in a certain way.
Absolutely.
And like financially, I want them to experience certain things and be able to do things with them and not just be stuck at home. Like, I want to have fun with them and enjoy them.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know if I want another kid because of that, because I don't know if I have enough of myself to give to them and
Yeah.
enough. If we have, you know what I mean? Like, it's so much more than just being like, oh yeah, let's just have another kid. Like,
There's
there's a
so
lot
much
more
more
that goes
thought and
into it.
planning that needs to go into that before you just decide to have another
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah. For me, at least, I just feel like
Yeah.
I don't, I just look at them and I'm like, I'm so thankful for what I have and I'm so thankful for them and they're wonderful. And I know we would make the cutest, most wonderful kids
Oh,
ever if we had
100%.
more,
You have adorable
but
children.
but like, will I be able to enjoy them still?
Mhm.
You know, like if I'm losing my shit all the time, it's
Yeah.
not enjoyable for me. And like,
Well, and I think it's also like it's really important to keep your identity as a person, like as an individual outside of mom. Like who you are as
yeah,
Kristy matters outside of who you are as mom.
yeah,
And like the more kids that you add onto the pile, the more of yourself, like the more pieces of yourself don't exist as Kristy, they exist as mom. And
yeah.
not
And
that there's anything
there's
wrong with
so
that if
much
you
more
can
that I
do
have
it.
to give all the
Yeah.
time too. And like that's part of it is like there's a fly, but I don't know if you can see it. Uh, but that's part of it is like I have to give a lot of myself already. So it's like, would I
Right.
have enough to give to this other kid? And like, I don't know. I think that it's pretty responsible to think about that rather than just being like, oops, there's another baby. Like, like I want to actually, I plan, I family plan. So it's like,
Yeah.
we don't just have children
Yep.
really accidentally or anything. Like we've planned our kids and
Yeah.
even to the point of, like kind of down to the month kind of thing where it's like 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 literally like I'm like they're 6 months apart, so
Mhm.
it's perfect for like parties and stuff like that. And then I'm like, if we have a third, I would want it like maybe in the middle of that, but like yeah. So it's like this whole thing of like I actually am very like precise about stuff like that
Mhm.
because I want it to work out in the long run.
Yeah.
Like, I
You
want them
need
to
your
have,
life to
like,
look a
their own
certain way.
celebration of life, right? Like, their
Yeah.
own birthdays, and that I can put the energy into their birthdays and loving them and then also do it for the sibling. Like, and if I
Right.
can't do that for everybody, then I probably don't want to have another one yet, you know?
Absolutely.
I don't know. That's just my
The logic
thoughts.
makes sense. And then you see a baby, you're just
Yeah.
like, I want a baby.
I know. I know it sucks. I see, the thing is I love, love, love the newborn phase and baby
Mm,
phase,
yeah.
and I just don't know if I want another kid. You know what I mean?
Right. It's like you love
So,
the puppy and then they turn into dogs that chew up everything and get into everything. You're just like, oh,
yeah.
did I really
Yeah.
want
No, but,
this?
like,
No.
I know a lot of people don't like the baby phase, so it's
Oh,
interesting
I
because
love the baby phase.
I feel like
Okay, so
people like the kid
oh,
phase better, like toddler phase better and stuff, but
I
I
love the baby phase. And like obviously I don't have any children, but I'm Baptist or I used to be Baptist, so I grew up taking care of a bajillion children all the
Yeah,
time, and I love the baby phase. Their
yeah.
head smells like everything that is good and perfect in the
Oh my
world.
God, when you're
And
the mom, it literally hits
yeah,
so different.
I can't wait.
Like I don't know if this is something I should put in the podcast, but like to the point where their breath, for the longest
Really?
time, their breath smells so good.
Oh my
It's
god.
weird. It's
That's so
super
sweet.
weird.
That's
Yeah,
so
I'm
sweet.
like everything about you is so good.
But like, okay, I love the baby phase. I love a
Hmm.
sleeping baby and I love holding sleeping babies, and I mean even when they're crying, like I don't know, they're just so fucking cute. Like
Yeah, they
I
are.
love the baby phase. And toddlers are just disasters and they make so many
Yeah.
messes
They're
and
so funny, but they are very
yeah.
funny. But yeah.
Yeah. I honestly, like, I told Theo, I'm just like, okay, the kid is my problem until it's like 18 months, maybe two. And then you can have them until they're 8. And then I'll take them back. Not
Honestly,
actually.
I
Not
feel
actually.
I feel like they're good until they're 3. 3 is like when they
Three's good.
kinda
Okay.
they're like, "I wanna be my own person, and I know I
Yeah.
don't have to listen to you."
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yep. No,
but
I'm
they are
totally
so
joking,
hilarious.
by the way. I'm totally joking.
No, no,
Um,
I get it. But yeah, I it's just like yeah.
I love the baby
But
phase,
yeah, I
though.
just feel like there's a lot more obviously that we could be focusing on than
Yeah.
fetuses and stuff. One thing that's crazy though is that like I could never imagine not allowing my kids to do Halloween because like
Aw.
they are obsessed with it. Like
I love
Arya
that.
loves it to the point where
Yes.
she literally chooses
I
our
was gonna say,
outfits.
didn't she pick out your costumes?
She
Like,
chose last year she did. We went to the store and she saw this witch dress and she's like, "I need it now." She's like,
aw,
"I have to be this witch." And I'm like,
that's so sweet.
"Okay." I thought we were gonna be Princess Peach and stuff, and she's like, "No, we need to be this." And I'm like, "Okay, I guess this is what we're doing." So we did the Hocus
Yes,
Pocus
ma'am.
witches, and it was amazing, and she loved it. And she literally, like, she doesn't let me do her hair normally. Like,
Mm-hmm.
now that she goes to school, she will, but like back then she didn't. So I was like, I don't know if she's gonna let me do her hair for like Halloween because it's like
Right.
she was the witch the with like the buns and the red hair,
Okay.
orange
Okay.
hair. And so she let me. Like I curled her hair, I teased it, I put it up in little buns, I sprayed it orange. She let
Yes,
me
I
do
love it.
everything and she loved it. She was like
Oh.
so excited.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
I
definitely
loved
takes
it.
after you with the
Yeah.
love of dress up and stuff for
Yeah,
sure.
I was so excited. I was like, I'm so glad you love this too because Halloween's the best and it's so much fun. It's
I
just
love
fun to
that.
like be something else for like one
Absolutely.
night and like I don't know, like I just love it. It's so much fun. And obviously for them it's literally just going around having a fun time with friends, dressing up,
Well,
being
yeah, if you're
silly,
not like
getting candy.
training your children that like Halloween is something scary or something like demonic or something like that, they're not going to think of it that way. They're not going to have that
Yeah.
experience. Like
No, they're
it's
just like
literally
this is
just fun
awesome.
and I'm going to go eat so
Yeah.
much candy and have a sugar crash and sleep
And
for
then
20
if
hours
there's ever
like
like if there's ever a house where it's like too scary, we just don't go to it. And like,
yeah.
like eventually I'm sure she'll think scary stuff is fun too, because it is fun with your friends. Like,
Yeah.
it's not demonic and it's not letting in fucking demons into your
Okay, so
soul and
speaking of
house.
letting in demons, I was okay, so we weren't allowed to watch a lot of
We weren't allowed to
TV.
watch scary movies because
Okay,
of
yeah.
this.
So we were not allowed to watch any scary movies and even like non-scary stuff, like a lot of anything that had to do with magic. Like we talked a little
Yeah,
bit about
like
Harry
Harry Potter,
Potter.
obviously.
Harry Potter
Hmm.
was out. I was not allowed to watch Twilight or anything that had to do with vampires, werewolves, witches, anything like that. I
Really?
know that you were.
Damn.
So Okay, so I have a couple
I
of
die
stories.
for, like, any vampire werewolf stuff, even
See,
to
I
this
do
day. I can
now.
still
I love it. Vampire Diaries is fucking gold, and
Oh, it's good, yeah.
that
Have
I
you
very
watched all
much
of it?
prefer that to Twilight. Yes, yes, I have.
Did you
Um,
watch the originals too?
no, I started that and then got distracted, and I need to go watch
Oh,
it.
okay. I like the
Um,
originals.
I love Klaus. He's terrible
Oh,
and
yeah.
toxic, and I love
I
him.
know, but you would
Uh,
yeah, so you would like the originals. I actually
yeah,
really like, his brother, the
Elijah.
brunette. Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
I like Elijah.
he's very pretty.
I
Um,
prefer brunettes, though, that's probably why.
okay,
Yeah.
interesting. Your husband's brunette. Um,
Mhm.
okay, so I have a couple of stories about this. So number one, I was not allowed to watch like Wizards of Waverly Place,
Oh, yeah.
like at
Yeah,
all.
that's
Okay, so
witches.
we were able to watch a few like Disney Channel shows. Like we could watch we watched Good Luck Charlie because my mom loved their house. We were not
Oh,
allowed to watch Hannah
interesting.
Montana because the music. We were not allowed to
Mm.
watch.
I watched Hannah Montana.
We couldn't watch That So Raven because that was all like witchy and stuff.
Oh, I watched that too.
We were able to watch Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. That was
Yeah,
fun. We
watched
couldn't watch
that.
like Jonas Brothers or any of that because, or like Camp Rock because rock
Weird,
music
because
was
they're
bad.
Christian.
Not Baptist.
They had purity
Um,
rings and everything.
but they weren't Baptist, and you know they can't be true Christians if they're singing rock music. Don't you
That's true.
know, Kristy?
I mean, we probably could have gotten away with it because we would have told our parents, like, that they're Christian and they have
mm,
purity rings. So then
I
they'd be like,
might.
"Oh, okay, it's fine."
I honestly I didn't even know that they had purity rings until I was like 20 something.
Yeah.
Um, I'm trying to think of like there was a couple of other ones that we were like able to watch. Like we could watch Liv and Maddie. That was a fun one. But yeah,
Mhm.
Wizards of Waverly Place. I remember watching it at my grandma's house and my mom walked in and she was just absolutely horrified and like I had to tell her everything about this show and she's like that will never be on this house ever again because the devil's going to get through the TV and that's inviting and like that
Oh
is
my
opening a
God.
door for the devil to get into
Mhm.
this home and we can't do that. So it's fucking psycho. um
Well, it's like kind of like an idea of like a demon getting let in,
mhm.
or like
Yeah.
a door opening to hell or
Yeah.
something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's literally the same concept.
Like you're like
Um
making yourself more susceptible to being demon
right.
possessed. Yeah.
Exactly. So I love all the witchy shit. I love all the fantasy. I am obsessed with like okay, so Percy Jackson, the Mortal Instruments, like those types of books. I was a big reader in high
Mhm.
school. Like I loved all of that. Um, and I remember putting one of the Mortal Instruments books in my Bible case and reading it during chapel instead of reading the Bible. And I did
That's
not get caught,
great.
and I was very proud of myself.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but you know, the devil has a hold of my soul now, so it's all because of Wizards of Waverly
Obviously.
Place. Speaking of which, I cannot wait for the like Wizards Return thing, the new one that's
Oh
coming out. I'm
yeah,
so
that's
fucking excited
interesting.
for that.
I
It's
didn't
gonna be
really
so
watch it
cute.
all that much growing up, I don't think. So I don't know.
I no, I didn't watch it until I was like 18, 19, then moved out of the house. I never did. And then is that was one of the first things that I
I
watched
know.
like when I moved out of my
The
house
first
because I
thing
was so
we watched
excited.
was the Harry Potter series.
See, and I didn't
I
even watch that
remember,
until
I
way
literally
I think I was like
remember
21.
we still lived in California.
Oh wow,
And
okay.
yeah, so we were like freshly married. And we
Okay.
did an entire, like, I think we watched all of them in one sitting.
I love that.
Yeah, we like set up the TV and the couch all cozy
Hell
and
yeah. Oh,
watched
that
all
sounds
of
so
them.
nice.
And we were like, oh my God, these are amazing.
Oh, it was the
And yeah,
best.
so.
But yeah, but the interesting thing is like we were able to watch like Lord of the Rings, and some Baptist families did not like Lord of the Rings.
Mhm.
But like my mom was okay with Lord of the Rings because she was okay with Narnia. And
Oh,
C.S.
okay.
Lewis was a Christian author, and J.R.R. Tolkien and C.S. Lewis were like buddies. So she was okay with that.
Interesting.
Yeah, which is
I
a
do like
very
the
interesting
Narnia
line of
movies too.
logic. I love the Narnia movies. The books are
I just
great.
like like just yeah, like fantasy out of
I
this
love
world kind of
fantasy.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
it's nice. It's nice. And honestly, like we're we're doing tavern food nights. Like usually once a week. We like tavern food now, but like just cooking things from scratch and like sausages
Mhm.
and stuff like that. Like I don't know, it's just really nice, and we're making tavern food and watching Lord of the Rings, and it's such a vibe, especially in the fall. Um,
Yeah.
and Lord of the Rings is one of the first things that like Theo and I bonded over. Like when we first met, like that was just one of the first things we had in common. It's
Mhm.
one of the few things we have in common. We're very different people. Um, but like every time we watch it, we just can't stop talking about how much we love J.R.R. Tolkien and like the things that sprang out of his mind, and like the like how like things that he just imagined are like, okay, so you talk about like elves and dwarves. Before
Mhm.
J.R.R. Tolkien, nobody pictured elves as pointy ears, long hair, good at archery. Like that all came from J.R.R. Tolkien.
Mhm.
He decided that's what elves were and stuff like that. Like we just love talking about that kind of stuff. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
know,
all of
it's
this stuff
fun.
that we
It's
just
like
couldn't really like experience
I mean,
in the
I feel like
IFB.
it would have been super cool to experience, especially like Harry Potter as a kid,
Yeah,
because yeah, but I'm a little bit jealous of other people that have, you know what I mean, like have been like long life
I know.
fans. But
Yep.
for me, obviously we just weren't allowed to watch that or anything, so we did once we became adults and stuff.
Same.
And
Very
um
proud Ravenclaw over
yeah,
here.
same. I'm a
Are you a
Ravenclaw.
Ravenclaw too?
I'm a
Yay!
Ravenclaw. Yeah.
What? Okay.
I'm
Is Nathan a
I'm Huffle.
Hufflepuff?
No, he's a Ravenclaw too.
Is he really? Okay, yeah. I was either
Yeah.
that or Hufflepuff. Yeah. Theo's
Where
very much a Slytherin. Absolutely.
I'm slash Hufflepuff though. Like
Okay.
I'm on, you know what I mean? Like that's my second. What's yours?
I don't have a second. I am Ravenclaw through
Okay.
and through.
No, mine's
1000%.
Ravenclaw. Like I think it's very close with Hufflepuff.
I think if I like when I did the test, like it was definitely like majority Ravenclaw. I think that like my next closest was Hufflepuff, but
Yeah.
no,
Yeah, I
I'm
think
I'm
that's how
very much a
mine was too.
Ravenclaw. But
Yeah.
like it wasn't close at all.
Yeah.
um
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm a Ravenclaw, but like my second Hufflepuff, yeah.
I love
And
that.
then Nathan's I think is Ravenclaw,
That
probably
makes sense.
Gryffindor.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah,
But
I can see that. Yeah, Theo's a
yeah.
Slytherin through and through. He's probably
Yeah,
second
he seems
Gryffindor, but
like it.
like, oh yeah, he definitely is, and he owns it. He's like, yes, I am Slither, Slither, Slither. Yeah, but anywho,
Yeah,
I
but
don't know. Is there anything else that you want to talk about, like as far as like Halloween and culty stuff goes?
not this episode. We
I
can
don't think so.
I
I'm
want
sure
to
that we'll
look
have
into
more
more
later.
stuff. Yeah, I want to definitely try to do a little bit of like Halloween themed stuff for this
Yes.
month. I feel like that
Yes.
would be fun. Um, so yeah, but I think that's everything for this video. Please give it
Awesome.
a like and subscribe. Put the bell on for notifications, and it'll give you a notification for every single time we drop an episode. We like to post every single Sunday. I don't know if you haven't
Yes.
noticed yet, but we try every single Sunday. So look out for our videos on
You
Sundays.
should watch these
And
instead of church. It was intentional.
yeah, we appreciate you guys. And thank you for watching.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Share your story.
If you have been affected by religious trauma or abuse, we want to hear your story.
Even if you're not ready to share publicly, we would be happy to listen and support you on your journey, free of judgment or pressure.
Please email us at cultconfessionskjv@gmail.com to get started.
We believe you.